This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Wednesday, February the 1st, 2023, and 1 month gone already. Hard to believe that tomorrow's Groundhog Day, and we'll find out just how quickly spring is supposed to get here. Coming up in today's program, we're going to, of course, look at your ag weather outlook. I'm going to talk about Mexican corn bans with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, and we're also going to take a look at those markets right now. It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. We're at the end of another trading day, and we're turning to Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. And Tyler, normally we would start with the grains, but in the cattle side of things here today on the livestock, what did we see going on there? So kind of an interesting day for them.
Yeah, there was a pretty big sell-off in the feeder calf market, especially. March feeders were down $2.90 on the day. Actually, at one point, they were down about $3.50. So pretty big beating. It caught a lot of people off guard. The cattle inventory, or it used to be called the cattle inventory report. Now it's just the cattle report. That's your biannual report on number of cattle that are out there. It came in fairly close to kind of what the expectations were ahead of it, which it really wasn't a big surprise. All cattle and calves came in at 89.74 million. I apologize for that.
Okay. We'll just let you start that part over again.
Turn my ringer down here. Usually do that. I forgot it. Okay.
All right. We'll let you go ahead and start that part over again with the report.
Okay. So we got the cattle inventory report that came out yesterday, and the numbers really weren't too far off of expectations, but the fact that they were maybe slight misses is what caused some of this reaction down in calf prices. And a couple of numbers I want to point out on it. The all cattle and calves number came in at 89.724 million head. That's down from 92 million last year at this time. And analysts were expecting it to be even lower, about another 500,000 head lower. And I think where the big miss came, and I won't say it's a big miss, it was a very small miss, but what caused the reaction in the market was on that calf crop. It was at 34.4 million head. That's down 2% from a year ago, but analysts were expecting a 2.6% drop. So it's not a lot of extra animals that are out there or calves that are out there, but it was just enough to maybe suck some of that premium that came into the market there the last few trading days. Monday and Tuesday, we had pretty big trading days in the feeder calf market. We basically came in and wiped all of those out today. With that drop down. So there was also some broad-based selling across all commodities today. If you looked at pretty much any commodity, whether it's energy, the financial markets, the metals, all of them were under pressure today. There is a FOMC meeting right before we started recording this. I did see that the Feds are going to raise the interest rate another 0.25%, which was expected. So it's not that really caught anyone off guard. I do think at 1:30, Jerome Powell has his press conference, and the market will gain a little more insight as to future direction there.
Well, and that's been something we've been waiting to see because, well, the numbers that we got last week, just towards the end of the week, showed that, inflation is obviously still there. The economy is still having some troubles. It's not as bad. It's backing off, but just not enough for the Fed to ease back quite yet. They're still wanting to be, pretty conservative as far as how they handle this, so we don't, go right back into this situation again.
Yeah, and a lot of people were looking just a few months ago at a hard landing where the Feds were going to continue to pump out 50 and 75 basis point hikes Now, it's turning more to a soft landing. They're going to kind of start dialing it back. Maybe we see an end to the interest rate hikes here in the next few quarters. That's what I think we'll find out here at 1:30. We might not find it out, but we'll get some insight into what the Federal Reserve and the chairman are thinking. And that will kind of play a role in how markets react here over the future. But I think that had a lot to do with, at one point, wheats were down big, soybeans were down big, corn was down. As we neared the end of the day, we saw some of those come back. Corn actually, just looking here, closed up a penny to a penny and 3/4 in your nearby, and actually saw some good action in your new crop contract, up 5 3/4 cents. Wheat kind of rebounded throughout the day as well. I did want to make note the ethanol report came out today. We actually saw ethanol production increase by 16,000 barrels per day last week over the previous week. And while we saw production increase, we actually saw stocks decrease about 635,000 barrels. So good news on the ethanol front. There is some chatter that maybe there's some overseas interest in corn going on right now, and that could be driving some of these prices to, I won't say driving them higher, but just kind of keeping them lofted up there in that 680 mark on corn.
Now, we've talked about grains and markets and also cattle, but, in the hog sector, we've been seeing that hog market, kind of sliding a little bit, but trying to reach out and grab onto any limb it can to keep itself from going. And what's been the story there?
Yeah, they took another beating today. They just can't seem to find a foothold. Typically, one of the things that you'll typically see is when we move from one year to the next, we tend to see production in pork drop from the fourth quarter into the first quarter. And usually it's a fairly steep drop of 250,000 pounds. We're actually looking at that increasing now. That right now, that's kind of what analysts are expecting. We're actually going to see an increase in pork production from the fourth quarter into the first quarter. So if we're seeing that, and those expectations were for a drop, coming in, you're just seeing some of that premium get sucked out of the market just because the amount of pork that's going to be out there is just higher than what we can consume. I think there was some optimism built into that, as China reopened, we would see exports of pork start to pick up. And that might happen. It's just not happening fast enough to swallow up all that excess production.
All right, Tyler, well, a lot of great insight for us today. If folks want to talk market strategies with agmarket.net, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Check out our website, agmarket.net. There's a spot there you can sign up to receive our intel. We send out a ton of information daily and weekly via email. If you want to get a hold of me direct, the number 701-987-6009.
All right, Tyler. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again real soon.
But take care, Dustin.
Well, that again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and run down those closing numbers for you, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn was up 1 1/4 at 681 even. May was up 2 at 679 1/2. December new crop up 6 at 596 3/4. March soybeans down 17 3/4 at 1520 1/4. May down 13 3/4 at 1516 1/2. November new crop down 2 3/4 at 1360 1/4. Soy meal was up 90 cents at $4.6940. Soy oil down $1.46 at $61.03. Chicago wheat unchanged at $7.70 1/2. Minneapolis up 3 3/4 at $9.19 1/4. May wheat from Kansas a nickel higher at $8.76 3/4. Oats down 3/4 at $3.86 1/2. February live cattle were down 42 cents at $158.42. March feeders down $2.90 at $183.25. February hogs down 90 cents at $73.97. Pork cutouts down $1.42 at $81.32. Class 3 milk up 8 cents at $17.92. And that's been our Ag Market Recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I visit with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Earlier today, the Senate Ag Committee met to talk about horticulture and food, which are two titles that show up in the Farm Bill. One of the things that did get talked about as well was the impending Mexican corn ban on GMO corn. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley questioned new USDA Undersecretary of Trade and Foreign Ag Affairs Alexis Taylor, also of Iowa, about where the situation stands right now.
So when it comes to agriculture trade, the concern I hear most from Iowans is access to Mexico's corn market. I'm sure other senators have this same concern. With over 90% of the corn acreage in the United States being planted to biotech seeds and Mexico being the #1 purchaser of U.S. corn, I'm concerned that this decree is not being met with urgency that it deserves. This is the case for both Iowa producers and, most importantly, for food insecurity in Mexico and around the world. As the former chair of the Finance Committee, I was glad to lead the effort for the USMCA, which ended up getting 89 votes. I was pleased to see yesterday that the U.S. Trade Representative has formally established a second USMCA dispute settlement panel to hold unfair Canadian dairy tariff rate quotas policies accountable. So the question is for you, Alexis, why has the Biden administration not established such a dispute settlement process under USMCA panel with Mexico on this issue of GMOs?
Thank you, Senator Grassley, for that question. I would say that I do think we are engaging with urgency on this issue. We certainly appreciate the potential impact that the proposed decree could have on our corn growers here in the United States, but much broader than that. Fundamentally, our trading system globally, but also within the USMCA, is built upon science-based policies. And the challenge to that is greatly concerning. I have heard from specialty crop producers, livestock producers, all with the concern of Mexico with this decree moving away from that fundamental principle. I, on my 3rd week on the job, and Ambassador McCaleb's 2nd week on the job, we traveled jointly to Mexico to again engage with our counterparts there, highlight our concerns, highlight that this is a fundamental principle from the United States on what a global trading system is built upon, and not something that we can walk away from or negotiate away from. We continue to have those conversations with our Mexican counterparts. And we're reserving the right of all the rights awarded to us under USMCA, and we will continue to ensure that our trade that has been granted, trade access that has been granted to us within USMCA is lived up to by all of our trading partners. And look forward to working with you in this committee on this very important issue, because it is a fundamentally critical question that we are answering here.
Are you aware of any timeline to start the negotiations, get the process in place?
Senator Grassley, I would say we're still, I think, productively engaging with Mexico. We have been very clear that the USMCA gives us a process to go down if we cannot find resolution on this issue, and that we reserve all of those rights. But at least today, we are still productively engaging and hope to find a resolution that doesn't disrupt trade, impact our producers, and ultimately impact negatively Mexican livestock producers who are dependent on this product as well.
Right after that Senate Ag Committee meeting, I had the chance to talk with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, and she weighed in about the situation stemming from the impending Mexican corn ban. Obviously, your fellow senator here from Iowa, Chuck Grassley, did ask about the situation with the Mexican corn ban that's being proposed on GMOs. It's been pushed back, but there's still negotiations happening. What kind of news did we get from Undersecretary Taylor today?
She did state that they are still negotiating on this. This is extremely important to Iowa farmers and the corn ban issue with Mexico. So we'll continue to work with her. We will continue to work with our counterparts in Mexico. It's extremely important we stay on this. It is such a big cash crop for the state of Iowa and many other states as well. So this will continue to be an issue, but we hope the folks in Mexico wake up, because we know their population needs this corn, especially our Iowa corn, to support their growing population.
Well, I know during the hearing you made mention it was like a $74 billion hit over 10 years it would take to the U.S. economy if this ban was allowed to go through. I mean, have we heard any urgency from the U.S. Trade Representative about, trying to file some, disputes with USMCA? I mean, where are things going with that right now?
Well, you're right. This hit to the U.S. economy is very extreme. As you stated, I brought up the point that it would be $74 billion over a 10-year period. And yet we don't see the level of urgency that Senator Grassley nor I want to see. We need to see engagement in this area. And so we are going to continue to push the administration. And it was a letter that was drawn up by me and Chuck Grassley that we sent to the president and the administration months ago that really highlighted this issue of the Mexican corn ban. It finally did spur them into action. And here we are months later, and they're still tiptoeing around the issue. We've got to get serious. We see this as an affront to the USMCA that is a very strong agreement between our countries, and we need to be filing those disagreements. So it's a quandary we're in right now. Directly, Chuck and I can't do anything, but we can push those that can do something to act.
And of course, we have fellow Iowan Tom Vilsack as the Secretary of Agriculture. Obviously, he knows the importance of corn to our economy here in Iowa. I mean, has he been exhausting all of his options as well to kind of get that straightened out?
Well, I truly hope that Secretary Vilsack is exhausting absolutely every path, every avenue to get this straightened out. But again, it was really Senator Grassley and I pushing on the administration to get them to act in the first place. So we'll continue to stay on the administration, but certainly Secretary Vilsack should know and understand the significance to his home state of Iowa.
That again was Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. Let's go ahead and run down that ag weather outlook. Well, the sun is shining. It's a little bit warmer today. Definitely some welcome temperatures here across much of the state. How long are they going to last? We could see some snow falling again as early as tomorrow. Where? Well, let's find out what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. Well, we saw warming temperatures today and sunny skies throughout much of the state. Highs were in the low 20s to the mid to upper 30s. Now tonight it will clear off again, maybe a few clouds off to the northwest. Temperatures will be slightly warmer than the nights before. We're going to see highs anywhere in the upper single digits to the upper teens. And then tomorrow, sunny across much of the state. There'll be a few flurries poking through in the northwest. Temperatures should remain milder, but still cooling in the northwest. We'll see highs anywhere from the mid to upper teens to the mid 30s. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map for you, Cherokee will see some flurries, otherwise sunny skies in 17. Shenandoah sunny in 35. Des Moines sunny 27. Waterloo sunny and 22. Albion will be sunny in 33. And Clinton will be sunny skies and 27 degrees. For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been our Ag Weather Outlook. And with that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and on our YouTube channel. Of course, on the YouTube channel, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and hit the bell icon so that way you're notified every time we put out a new video. You can also check out our free Twice Daily Market podcast through Amazon, Google, Spotify, Apple, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.